lifting up Jesus, opening His Word from Australia, Denmark, Israel, Japan, New Zealand, Northern Ireland, Republic of Ireland, Singapore, South Africa, United Kingdom, Thailand, the Philippines, United States, and throughout the world. You're watching Moriel TV. Hi, this is Tim from Moriel TV and Moriel Radio here with Jacob Prasch. Jacob, lately the Catholic Church has been talking about Fatima, the hidden message of Fatima, and canonizing some of the participants in Fatima.
One of my previous videos was on Planet X, and that NASA had detailed the fact that we had a brown dwarf star relatively close to Earth. Relatively close to Earth without saying how close it was, but it was a discussion concerning near-Earth hazardous objects which could possibly impact Earth or fly so close to Earth that the impact would be felt on Earth. And also Father Malachi Martin, who was close to one of the former popes, who passed away in 1999, and many people believe that his death was not by accident, because he had revealed the fact that Planet X, or some kind of a planetary body, was inbound towards Earth, and that third secret of Fatima would in fact be a celestial body coming so close to Earth or impacting Earth with a devastation, a chaos that would be utterly inconceivable. He said that it would not be a few million casualties, victims, it would be an unimaginable disaster. For quite some time now, the Vatican has had its infrared telescope in Arizona examining the skies for what could be incoming. Also, we had a previous video concerning the fact that the planets in our solar system are heating up, they're lighting up, and the scientists have no explanation as to what is causing this. Of course, there is something causing it, something causing friction, something causing energy, and they have no idea where it's coming from. We also have over 100 underground bunkers in the United States. People who are affluent, the elite, the rich people, the people that can afford the underground bunkers, are trying to set them up for something that they believe is incoming, some kind of a devastation. We also see that the Federal Bank of New York has moved from New York to Chicago because they fear of something that may take place concerning the East Coast, some kind of a natural catastrophe. And it's not just in the caliber of Hurricane Sandy, something much more. Pope John Paul II in Fulda, Germany, 1980. October 1981, issue of the German magazine Stimme des Glaubens reported on a discussion that Pope John Paul II had with a select group of German Catholics in November of 1980 the following verbatim report. Discussion. Text of the public report says, the Holy Father was asked, what about the third secret of Fatima? Should it not have already been published by 1960? Pope John Paul II replied, given the seriousness of the contents, my predecessors in the Petrine office diplomatically preferred to postpone publication so as not to encourage the world power of communism to make certain moves On the other hand, it should be sufficient for all Christians to know this. If there is a message in which it is written that the oceans will flood whole areas of the earth, that's of course tsunamis, the whole areas of the earth worldwide, going back to what Pope John Paul was saying, and that from one moment to the next, millions of people will perish. Truly, the publication of such a message is no longer something to be so much desired. The Pope continued, many wish to know simply from curiosity and a taste for the sensational, but they forget that knowledge also implies responsibility. They only seek the satisfaction of their curiosity, and that is dangerous if at the same time they are not disposed to do something, and if they are convinced that it is impossible to do anything against evil. At this point the Pope grasped a rosary and said, here is the remedy against this evil. Pray, pray, and ask for nothing more. Leave everything else to the Mother of God. The Holy Father was then asked, what is going to happen to the Church? He answered, we must prepare ourselves to suffer great trials before long, such as will demand of us a disposition to give up even life, and a total dedication to Christ and for Christ. With your and my prayer, it is possible to mitigate this tribulation, but it's no longer possible to avert it, because only thus can the Church be effectively renewed. How many times has the renewal of the Church sprung from blood? This time too it will not be otherwise. We must be strong and prepared, and trust in Christ and his Mother, and be very, very assiduous in praying the Rosary. The prayer of the Rosary is either to Jesus Christ and to the Mother of God, the Virgin Mary. What it means, when Pope John Paul II spoke at Fulda, he had not yet been the victim of the 1981 assassination attempt. Speaking of the third secret of Fatima, he did not allude to anything resembling a future assassination attempt, which in 2000 the Vatican announced to be the subject of the final part of the secret that Our Lady revealed in Fatima in 1917, but rather to imminent chastisement and worldwide tribulation. The Holy Father implied that evil is the force behind the elements contained in the third secret. The themes alluded to here by the Holy Father are consistent with these considered by leading Fatima experts to be the substance of the real third secret of Fatima, and are discussed in detail in the article The Third Secret. And I'll leave a link below for you for anyone who wants to read on that. It's concerning what the Mother of God, the Virgin Mary, told to Sister Lucia, who is in the middle of this photograph. Links below.
First of all, there are other instances of mass hysteria where people have claimed to see astral or solar phenomena. But that's not the acid test scripturally of was Fatima of the Lord or not. What is the question, what was in the letter that the Vatican hid for centuries and kept as a state secret? What was in the letter that was not disclosed until the pontificate of Pope John Paul II? What was in the letter? What was predicted? There were all kinds of rumors about all kinds of things in that letter. Let's understand something. The nun Lucy, who was a little girl at the time, who supposedly saw Mary, by biblical definition, she's a false prophetess. She predicted at that time that World War I would end the next day. And it didn't. World War I intensified and became an even more bloody and life-consuming conflict than it ever had. She predicted things that were wrong that she said Mary told her. In the letter itself, we see a soldier shooting a Pope-type figure. Well, this was related by some to the attempted assassination of Pope John Paul II, but it wasn't by a soldier. It was by Akset, a Turkish Islamic radical, probably put up to it by the Soviets. It was not the shooting of the Pope in any kind of a military conflict. What is in the letter, again, prophetically never happened. The things simply did not happen. They were false prophecies. That shows us it was not of God. God does not give his glory to another. After the day of Pentecost, we don't even see anything that suggests anything about Mary. She's never an intercessor. She's never an agent of prophetic revelation or divinely dispatched visitations. None of that. None of that has any scriptural warrant. It is all nonsense. What the Roman Catholic Church calls Mary is nothing more than what we see with Diana of Ephesus, with Artemis, with Minerva. After the time of Constantine, they began to attribute the attributes of the pagan goddesses, going back to Tammuz and his mother in Babylon, holding the Madonna, holding the baby, to Mary. At the Council of Ephesus in the 5th century, Mary was proclaimed the Queen of Heaven, because that is where Diana of Ephesus had been worshipped as the Queen of Heaven. It's all of pagan origin. It's not the real Mary. And those prophecies at Fatima were proven to be false, documented to be false. It's all a lot of nonsense. Emotionally charged superstition. Don't believe any of it. The same would be true for Lourdes, for Knock in Ireland, for Medjugorje, for Guadalupe in Mexico, etc. It's all nonsense. Just ignore it. It's not scriptural. That's not the real Mary. My name is Jacob Prasch. Thank you for your question. God bless.
Astrophysicists and astronomers tell us that if even a small planet of the size of Nibiru, or even something maybe even smaller than a tenth the size of Pluto, were to strike the Earth meteorically, the way a meteor would strike the Earth, it would completely destroy the Earth's biosphere. All life would be obliterated. And we know that when wormwood happens, it'll not obliterate all life, but it will destroy a third of the life in the sea and things of that nature. No, it could be a meteorite from that planet or from some other planet, or it may be an asteroid, but it wouldn't be an entire planet because the biosphere of the Earth could simply not sustain that kind of a collision. That kind of impact would wipe out all existence, all biological existence certainly, on the face of the Earth. And we know from the book of Revelation that life continues, howbeit under horrific circumstances, after the wormwood for a short time. So the answer is no.
Thank you, Jacob.
Blessings, dear friends. Greetings in Jesus. This is your friend Jacob Prasch speaking to you at the moment from the UK. You know, so many of the questions we get in our Roku broadcasts and our Vimeo clips and on YouTube deal with subjects that we deal with much more extensively in our books. We can't, for the sake of brevity, go into the kind of depth in a TV broadcast we can actually go into in a book. But so many of the questions come from material that are expounded in the books on a much more broader scale that it's almost frustrating sometimes that we can't spend hours and hours answering the questions that are given to us. Obviously, practicality dictates that's not a possibility. The books are there. They're available. They're available in print through the Moriel catalog on the Moriel website, moriel.org. But in this day of Kindle and electronic books, they're also available through Amazon, and they're available through Kindle. The three books that would be the most referred to in the questions we receive are the three latest books. The first being The Dilemma of Laodicea. The Dilemma of Laodicea. It's an exposition of the seven churches in Revelation, culminating with the final two churches, Philadelphia and Laodicea particularly, setting the stage for the return of Jesus. The Dilemma of Laodicea would be the first. The second would be Shadows of the Beast. Shadows of the Beast. How the coming Antichrist, how his identity will be revealed to the faithful church. The rapture will not happen. Will not happen, absolutely not happen, until the faithful church knows who the ultimate beast of Revelation is. That is the Antichrist and also the false prophet. How the identity of the coming Antichrist will be revealed to the faithful church. Shadows of the Beast, the second book. And the final and latest one, Harpazo. Harpazo. What the scripture actually teaches about the rapture, the snatching away which takes place between the 6th and 7th seals in the book of Revelation. So these three books, The Dilemma of Laodicea, Shadows of the Beast, and Harpazo, all available on the Moriel catalog, all available through Amazon, and all easily available electronically by Kindle. Thank you so much, dear friends. God bless. May Jesus be with you.